Welcome to Everything But the Kitchen Dink, the podcast where we discuss all things pickleball with your hosts, Rob and Andy.
Welcome back, everybody, to Everything But the Kitchen Dink. Today we have a special guest all the way from London, England. He is four-time gold medal winning champion. He has played for England for the pickleball team. He has written 3 books and has made 2 movies. He wishes. It's Andy, all the way from London. We're not together. We're doing this separately, so it could go tits up or it could be fantastic. So welcome, Andy.
That's the best introduction. Thank you so much. And it's such a pleasure to be on here. I just
if only
have
it was
no
true.
Words. Somehow you've figured out time travel, haven't you? And you've seen the future. Anyway, thanks for having me. I'm in London working. I don't have the luxury of being retired, unfortunately. But yeah, here we are.
Wow.
So,
can you tell us?
Yeah, here we are.
Before you start, who you're down there interviewing or signing?
Okay, I am here. Well, it's currently 5:30. We've just had a long, rainy journey from Manchester. And I'm seeing Thierry Henry and Teddy Sheringham tomorrow. So I will be mentioning pickleball to them.
That's amazing.
Yeah. You're amazing. I wish I'd rather be with you.
Players.
We're going to have to be careful here because, as all the listeners know, we're not technical whiz kids here. And there's going to be speaking over each other. There's going to be silences waiting. Maybe we should say over.
Okay,
over to you.
In that case, thank you. Let me start by talking about my week in pickleball, because this was my first week. I mean, we spoke about our holidays last week and our experiences in Mexico and America. In fact, someone came up to me today and said, "Oh, the Villages sounds amazing. Would you recommend it?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. It was an amazing time." But back to reality, back to the rainy Manchester, and back to our Tuesday night, which I've not actually been to for a while because of illness and holidays and stuff. But my first Tuesday night back at the club, and I have to say, so I'm feeling good. I came out of it unscathed, which was great because it was 2 hours non-stop. And when we do 2 hours, it is non-stop. We don't have a break. Yeah. Even in between games, it's pretty steady. So the only thing I did notice on the night was my game was great. I was happy with everything, but my fitness had gone downhill. Like by an hour in or an hour and a half in, I was really struggling. And when your fitness goes, your shots go. So your shots end up not being as good as when you first started the night. But that's just down to fitness and decision making.
It's nice that you found a new excuse, haven't you? Which is nice. So you're not blaming the paddle this week. You weren't running to your bag every 5 minutes to change the paddle.
No, actually, I kept the same paddle the whole night. But we are going to be playing again this weekend, so I will be trying a different paddle this weekend just to mix it up a bit.
Okay, well, let me tell you where I'm at. I was really, I thought, and we'd spoken about this, and we'd spoken about the Villages and everything, and, you were buzzing with it all, and that's great. I think that I was a bit nervous. Maybe we were both a bit nervous about, the post-holiday slump where you're playing on fantastic purpose-built courts and then you're coming back to indoor courts and, a bit nervous. I thought it went really well. As I've been saying, I think our drop-off from our breaks is getting smaller and smaller. I really do feel like we're back to a good starting point for us very quickly. I don't know if you felt that.
Yeah, I felt that considering I hadn't played for such a long time, yes, I mean, sorry, I'm going to sneeze 1 second.
So unprofessional. Bless you, by the way.
Thank you. Considering I played in the villages, but it wasn't full pelt like at home, I was quite surprised at how quick things came back, and quite pleased in a way that my game was as good as of when I left it. So I felt like I hadn't really dropped off in my game, and now it's about working on that and getting my game to a higher level. So yes, fitness was a bit of an issue, but my shot choices and reaction times and things like that I thought were pretty good. So I was quite pleased.
Okay, I have a question. One thing I was thinking in our last game, we played a couple of times together, which was great. Our defense was great. We were getting around the court quite well. Do you feel that your timeout or anybody's timeout also affects the mental fitness? Because I also felt in that last game where we struggled a bit, are we telling ourselves a bit too quickly that it's our fitness? Do you think because we're rusty and we know we're rusty, we're sort of, we know fitness is an issue, but are we too quick? When we make a mistake or when we're tired and we don't get to it, I felt like I was blaming fitness a little bit, when yes, fitness was a part of it, but you're allowed to make mistakes as well. Do you think there is an issue of mental fitness as well?
I think that you make a good point, and I think that both are entwined. So when the physical fitness is not there, the mental fitness is also not there, because when your body's tired, your mind is tired, and you start thinking, I'm just knackered, I can't do this, and it's all entwined, and then you start choosing the wrong shots and your shots aren't great. So I do think that physical fitness and mental fitness are entwined in that way.
Yeah, interesting. We were very satisfied. I think I said to you beforehand, we're in the stage now where it's just about playing regularly. Scores
it's about
don't
momentum.
matter. Yeah, and we've had we're very excited about our next session, which is on Saturday at the new Slazenger Paddle Centre, which has got 2 pickleball courts. So that's going to be I'm so excited for that, because if that goes well, it's about 45-50 minutes.
Let me stop you there.
Okay.
Don't get too excited, because I've heard that it isn't great. Now, we'll be the judge of it when we go, but I don't know what surface.
I'm stopping you. I know somebody told you that the lighting wasn't great, and I don't know, did they say this? I don't care. I'm playing on wooden multi-sport courts. This is going to be the best I've got, and it's going to be great.
Well,
so don't go in there with an attitude.
Let me stop you there. We're not sure what the courts are. So, I mean, for all we know, they could be spongy, horrible courts. I don't really know. So
let me stop you there. Can you guess what this title's going to be? Well, on the booking, which was what's the app? Because I've never used the app before, and it seems really good. What was it? What is it?
Playtomic,
yeah. On the app, on the booking, it says concrete.
Okay, well, that's encouraging.
Concrete. So that would be like something that we play the tennis courts for the Nationals. I think they're concrete, like an outdoor surface.
So I'll need to bring the X40 balls then. I'll have to try and find a few.
That is a very good point. I think I've got, I'll never dig them out, but I think I might have some outdoor gamma balls, the chucks.
Right. So try and have a look, and I'll have a look.
Yeah, speaking of digging out, my spare room is currently, my wife's calling me now. Shall I answer it?
No.
My wife is actually clearing out the spare room. And when I was in there the other day, this is a spare room that hasn't been cleared out in 15 years. Everything gets shoved in there, and I could see some paddle handles in there. So I will soon be re-owning every single one of my paddles that since I've started pickleball, and I'm going to itemize those and actually see how many I've got and what I've got. I bet there's so many hidden gems in there.
You know what? It'll be actually interesting for you to write them all down and list your paddles, because
it'd be like a journey.
I'm curious. Yeah. Curious. I mean, I remember the first like decent paddle I bought was the Onyx. Do you remember those we had?
Yes. Well, my first paddle was the Onyx Premier.
Correct. We had the same one.
Which cost me £99.
And I had a red.
Oh, you had the same one?
Yeah, I had the red one.
But I think you'd had about 12 paddles by the time I got my first paddle. But yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. But anyway, going back to playing on a proper court, I am very excited. Yes, it might not be the Diadem Centre or the Fort or Hurlands, but it's going to be amazing for us.
Also, let's talk about it once we've done it, and let's review it for people. So people locally will be able to know, if it's any good. Also, I can't really say too much at the moment, but I thought we had a bit of exciting news this week.
Yeah.
Which I'm not going to say too much, but there might be some pickleball coming very locally to where we live. But I'm not saying too much about it yet because it's not 100%, but it's very exciting.
Yes. I mean, we can say that it's people you've been talking to. We're not going to give names or exact locations, but basically it was really nice. It's going to be a paddle centre with 5 courts, and it's really nice that they've actually enlisted you and then me to speak about pickleball, being really keen. So I actually got in the car after we met with them and said to you, I'm astounded that there is no snobbery towards pickleball in a paddle centre, which is, I'm still staggered.
Yeah, and I think that's the way it's sort of going, where they realise the attraction of pickleball and the monetary value that it brings with it, because a lot of retired people play pickleball, and they're the ones that are around in the days, so
like I think
the value, I think the value is there. Our job is to convince them to do it, and I think we did a good job. I
think it went well. And I think part of their issue is obviously pickleball commands less income. We know that. But it's still the perception. We've got to convince people to get around the perception of it's just for old people who want to spend a couple of quid on a court. And I think we did a good job of that. So it's exciting. And obviously Blackburn opening as a paddle court, as a paddle centre with 2 pickleball courts. I went on, I could book anytime I want. Nobody's booking them there. But that's probably because they see it as a paddle centre only, and they're not advertising pickleball. Also, we can't do anything about that.
A lot of these places now are putting pickleball in, like the paddle places are now thinking about pickleball, which is great. Yeah. Except obviously Hurlands have done it the other way around, so they've got more pickleball and less paddle. And it's and it's showing at the moment that it's been I've only seen on the videos, but it looks like it's packed there all the time. So amazing.
In fact, after dinner, I might go. The traffic will be light. I might go down and get a few games at Hurlands. I'll do a few interviews there. I'll do a podcast.
Yeah, right.
Okay, well let's see. I'm just going to see now how far I am.
I bet you're about 2 hours away.
I know I'm on the wrong side of London. Hurlands.
You're on the wrong side of everything.
I'll just put Let's see. Okay, it's 14 minutes away.
Really?
No, it's an hour and 27.
Right.
But your face was a picture when I said 14 minutes.
I was about to cry.
But yeah, I mean, I'm in London, and that's in London, and it's an hour and 27 away. How ridiculous is that?
I know, it's crazy. Let's talk about the big news story this week, and I'll let you lead with it.
Well,
because
I mean,
this has
I think it only,
issues.
I know, and it's really bad for pickleball. This, I think, but I like to get everybody else's opinion. Okay, basically, DUPR is announced now, and I wouldn't say I'd fallen in love with DUPR again, but after Tito came on, the CEO, it was a really interesting episode. If you haven't listened to that, he came on and he got me back in. Just when I thought I was out, he got me back in. I don't know how you felt. Did you feel the same? I could see a lot of what he was saying. No,
no, not really. I think I could see a lot, but there was a lot that was at fault still for me that didn't work. But this latest revelation just seems absolutely crazy. So go on, tell us about it.
Okay, so basically, between the 16th of March and the 17th of May, DUPR are now offering they're basically it's a reset program. They're offering all players who currently have a DUPR. This is not for players who don't have a DUPR. The opportunity to reset your DUPR. So
it's basically an opportunity to increase your DUPR rating without any risk.
I mean, the reason behind it is the fact that people complain that DUPR is not well reflective of their ability. So my first thoughts were, okay, yes, I can see what they're trying to do here. When you look beneath it, there are so many flaws. And I said to you last night, maybe I'll message Tito to get his thoughts behind it. But then I looked into it more and I just thought, this is so ridiculous. What's the point? Because I can see the reasoning behind it, so that people, they want to stop, they see it as maybe trying to stop sandbagging, but it's going to cause more problems than it solves.
First of all, just tell everybody what the stipulations are and how it works and what you have to do before we talk about how ridiculous it is.
Right. So basically, it takes your original DUPR. In that time period of 2 months, you have to play a minimum of 8 matches. So basically, you're starting from scratch. Your DUPR for the 2 month period is starting from scratch. You've got to play a minimum of 8 games. So the problem being is it's any 8 games. So it's not competition games. And I believe that DUPR should only be, I know in England, we only use DUPR for competitive tournaments or leagues. On the whole.
Well, some clubs do use DUPR as well. The whole thing is, it doesn't work for the UK because, first of all,
we don't play enough games.
We don't have, you'd have to play at least 2 tournaments really in that period to qualify. And also, you'd have to play with 2 different partners, which is the other.
You don't have to play tournaments. That's the thing. When I say people in England are using DUPR competitively, a club will use it if they will have a DUPR night or a DUPR event. But people in America can go to a rec session and input their scores to DUPR. It's open to manipulation, and this might have caused some of the problems. So when I say we're only using it competitively in England, I do feel that is the case. However, I'm sure people have used it for rec play and uploaded their own scores. Basically, you can't input your own scores. You have to have a club executive input your scores. Okay, so you would think, okay, maybe it's genuine. What's a club executive? Anybody's a club executive. You just go on the app and you add yourself as a club exec. The idea behind that is that a third party will be verifying your scores, but we know that's open to manipulation as well. So, you can't play your minimum of 8 matches with just your regular partner. You've got to play it with at least 2 different partners against at least 2 different opponents. So you're going to have to play potentially with somebody you don't know, which means that we know what it's like playing with a new partner, don't we? How that can skew
and also at the end of it, if your DUPR isn't any higher, you stay the same what your DUPR was before.
Well, so basically, you don't lose. If anybody wanted to do this, you can do this. Your DUPR will not go down from your original DUPR. Basically, if your DUPR goes up, you can pick the new DUPR, and if it goes down, you stay with your original. So,
and it's $35.
Yeah, and I was going to say, this is the thing. When you see that it's $35 to do it, is it a money grab? Is it just a way of, their system hasn't been great to this point? And don't get me wrong, I sympathize, because as much as people will tell you the VAR system and any other system that is floating around the market, that's amazing. Every system will have its flaws, and you won't find a perfect system. So I do have sympathy with DUPR, but when they start charging $35 because their system wasn't right in the first place, that's a bit out of order, and it starts to look like a money grab. I don't know what you think about that.
I agree. I think it is a bit of a money grab, but I also think that the whole thing's ridiculous. If you've got a rating system, then stick with it. Why have a reset? Like, the rating system obviously isn't good enough if you're putting this in.
Yes.
So it's telling everybody that DUPR as a rating system is not working. So let everyone have a reset and we can all start again. It doesn't really work for me. I mean, I won't be doing it, first of all, because I don't think it's going to benefit me in any way in the UK. Number one, I want to play with my regular partner. I don't want to play with a random partner, in a tournament. And number two, I'd have to, does it mean that you can go and enter a tournament at the 5-0 level and then get beat every game? Would my DUPR then be a higher DUPR?
Yeah. I don't know. This is the problem with it. It's a flawed system, so this won't help it. Also, how many times, and even Tito himself said to us, don't be obsessed with your number. But don't be obsessed with your number, but pay $35 and improve your number. It totally conflicts. You're not going to do it. I'm not going to do it, because we've learned to not obsess over our number. And let's face it, if we really wanted a DUPR reset, we'll just re-register instead of Andy, I'll be Andrew, and I'll put, instead of Manchester, I'll put Radcliffe in Manchester, and I'll use a different email address, and there's my DUPR reset.
Well, I don't know how easy that is, but at the end of the day,
well, we know there's people with multiple DUPRs. We know that.
Yeah, the thing is, in America, it's very, very strict on where you can play, who you can play with. You've got to have your DUPR at a certain level to be able to play. And I think that people are feeling that they've not got the right level, so they're not being allowed to play. Therefore, they're having to play down. Yeah, I can understand that. And that I do understand. It doesn't really sit like that in the UK at the moment, but I understand it from an American point of view. The whole thing smells a bit for me. I don't like it. Let us know what you think. Send in your comments, your views on it. Are you going to do a reset in the UK? Are you going to do one in the US? Let us know. Because
let us know if you're going to do a reset.
Yeah, I'll be interested to know. So we'll see how that pans out.
I think in general, I think it should only be used at proper competitive events, not self-arranged. It should be used at tournaments, basically, and it should be all tournaments. And that's the problem. It's used in various different levels. And this whole thing about, you can't input it yourself, so you can get your mate who's a club director to do it.
I know.
It just seems pointless.
Yeah, but the other thing is, like, say you turned up at our club night, for example, right? I'm club director, and I can input the scores. How's that going to work? Like, because most of the players that play at our place are between 3-5 and 4. There's a couple of 4-5s, 4-6s, but most of them are between 3-5 and 4-1, 4-2, maybe. It's not going to benefit anyone. Like, the people at 4-6 are not going to want to do it. 4-8 or whatever. They're not going to want to say, "Oh yeah, I'll have you a game and my DUPR will go down. I'm not doing a reset, so it doesn't work for me." And then the other ones are saying, "Well, I've done a reset. I'd like to do it," but it's not going to work for them either because, the levels aren't there. So it doesn't really work here.
No. I think I might do it because I think my DUPR is way too high. Although it doesn't go down from the original, so that doesn't work. But that's what I don't understand. They're telling us they need more data and then everything will right itself. And now they're saying that it's for people who feel like they've been stuck from old results. So it's totally contradictory. It just stinks of a money-making thing. And to be honest, we're not the only ones that feel this way. Reading the outer community response to this, it's the same. The fairness, the overinflation risk, of setting up games for this 2-month period. And obviously, the biggest thing I've seen out there is people feel the same with the, it's almost like a pay to win, pay your money and you'll get a better DUPR. I mean, that's as ridiculous as it is.
Well, you're not necessarily going to get that here unless you do a reset and then you enter a couple of 5-0 tournaments, which then I guess you might get a better DUPR. So I don't know.
And yet all the time, everybody we've had on this podcast, including DUPR themselves, has told us not to obsess over the number.
Correct.
So what more can you do?
Nothing.
But
let us know.
Okay. No one's going to do it. I don't think they will get any takers on this.
Well, we'll see. Well, it'd be interesting because I think a lot of people will do it.
Okay. Well, let's see. Okay. Well, let's move on because honestly, we could talk about this negatively all night. But something interesting that we've actually had in our notes for a good few weeks. I don't know if you've looked at this, but I actually did a little exercise of the best-selling brands. Of the brands that won the most medals at the PPA tournaments last year, which was interesting. So,
well, this is going to be, before you say that, this is going to be obviously like whoever's got the top players are going to be winning more medals, aren't they?
Yeah. However, I mean, I'll just go through. Obviously, Yola was top in the PPA, won 121 medals, which was 30% of the medals won. Now, I know what you're going to say. You were, but you were about to say that. Yeah, Ben Johns, but Annalie Waters, who was the number one, came in second with Paddle Tech, which was 20% of the medals. But it'll be interesting to see how Franklin, who is third, gets boosted from having Annalie Waters this year. But what's more reflective is it does feel reflective of what we see when we go around our tournaments, of what people are using. So Yola was number one, and at the last Open, how many Yolas did we see? Like it was almost like 2 or 3 of every court. Yeah,
I think Yola, obviously, there's a lot, but I'm surprised to see Selkirk with 32 medals because you do see a lot of Selkirk paddles around tournaments. So I am surprised at that. I know they've got Jack Sock and some really good pros on their books, but I was surprised at only 32 medals. But there are names on that list that aren't even on the list that I feel that I'm quite
surprised. But if you look at, for example, Diadem,
Yeah, not
You
even
go
on
to
there.
South Florida, which is massive for pickleball. So many of the top pros play there. However, we know Diadem, but Diadem don't sponsor players.
Well, there's your answer.
But does it show that sponsoring players transfers into sales? Because, like I said, Yola, I feel in Europe, most people, or if you did a poll of what paddle every amateur plays with, I would guess Yola comes out on top. So maybe it does.
Yeah,
I
think Yola is a very popular paddle, but what's amazing is all the things that have happened with Yola, yet they're still a popular paddle.
Yeah.
All the problems they've had, yet people are still buying them. Even though they all lost their money last time because they couldn't use them.
And you could argue they treated their customers terribly.
Yeah. So they're doing something right. So maybe it is to do with the sponsored players like Ben Johns and Anna Lee now, that's doing the sales. So I would say yes.
I'm sure Agassi has had a lot to do with that, and now they've got Steffi Graf as well.
One. Yeah. So they have got top names on there.
I mean, I know when we see Agassi doing his thing, it's like, we want to do that as well.
Well, exactly. It's cool. Isn't it?
Maybe they're, I used to joke about Selkirk being the Apple of pickleball, and maybe Yola has become that now. Whatever they produce, Yola,
they do make good paddles.
Yeah.
So fair play to them. But there are plenty of other paddles that are just as good on the market as well, and we're discussing one a bit later.
Well, we've got. I did say we've got so many paddles. You just our sponsors, pickleball people who. Yeah, I think we've got a discount for pickleball people.
Yeah, I don't know what it is though. I think it's EBTKD. But if you put in EBTKD, I think it's a 10% discount. But they are sending us some more paddles to test out.
So we're going to get 5 more. We don't know what they are. But what was interesting in a lot of my research, the Honolulu paddles were coming up quite a lot. And yet we don't see any of those in Europe, which is interesting.
No, we don't. And the J2Ks as well, they're quite popular. But you don't
I think that's the Honolulu brand.
Are we doing a review of the Diadem?
No, we're not doing a Diadem today. We are doing the review we've teased for quite a while now. We're doing the 6 Zero Black Opal.
This baby right here.
No, I forgot to bring it with me. But first of all,
well, I've got it here.
A lot of people have asked me about this paddle. A few people at the club have used it. They've not. It's very hard. It's the kind of paddle that you're not going to get a first impression very quickly. You need. I've been using it. Probably how long has it been? A couple of months now.
I think you've probably used it for a couple of months.
You have to hold it closer to the camera because it's getting lost in your background.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah. Just put it over your face. It's much better for the YouTubers.
So it's quite gritty. It's got this diamond surface, so it's got like shiny speckles.
Yeah, it's like a diamond grit, which looks really nice. You can't see it on the camera.
No,
and you can't see it on the podcast either. The audio only. But it's the usual hybrid shape, which I think it's fair to say we've always liked 6 Zero. They're a really great company. They do things the right way.
Let me just stop you. Can I just say that I do not like the hybrid shape? It does not suit me as a player. I've tried it in a few paddles now. Now, if they did this paddle in an elongated version, it would be fantastic.
Well, it's interesting you say that because maybe we should ask them. Their paddles have all been this hybrid shape. Maybe they are. Maybe they've thought of that as well, and we'll get some feedback on that.
Well,
it's an interesting comment.
Yeah, I think like to do a hybrid shape, and I know they have done a couple of. Do you remember the one that you had, that limited competition one, the Ben, was it? What was
I
it?
found that the other day in my spare room. It's the
that was an
triple black
elongated
diamond.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
triple
was
black
elongated,
diamond.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I feel that they don't do enough elongated paddles, and for me, I like an elongated paddle. So,
However,
I just don't like that.
Let me stop you there. Let me stop you there. You love the carbon true foam, and that's a hybrid.
No, I don't. I use the elongated one.
But the shape is still a hybrid.
No, it's not. It's elongated.
Not on yours.
They do the hybrid one is the 4, which I don't like because I don't like hybrid. So I use the other one, which is elongated, which is the 3. Personally, I just like an elongated paddle.
Okay. Personally, I think it just falls into what you feel. I don't think there's any difference in yours or my play, but that's fair. If if that's what you feel, then fine.
Yeah, I think. Let me stop you there. They're going to get sick of this. I think that everyone likes different things in paddles. Some like 16mm, some like 14mm, some like the standard shape, some like the hybrid shape, some like the elongated shape. There's no wrong choice. It's what suits you. And for me, it's elongated suits me. You're a bit different because you quite like the hybrid shape, but you've also used the elongated in the Pro 4. But I've always said that the Pro 4 suits you the best at the moment.
I don't feel that shape makes that much difference for me. It all comes back to, is it the paddle or is it the player? And I know recently when I've struggled with getting court time, and I've been trying to shake the rust off, I know there's times where if I'm playing bad and I'll change my paddle every couple of games, I'm still playing bad. The paddle won't change my decision making, and likewise, there was a session or two where I used the Black Opal, and I just wasn't feeling it. Yet I would change, and my game wouldn't change. So mindset is so much to do with it. It's very easy. We all do it. We all blame the paddle, but I think what we lack sometimes is a consistency of our play, which we do blame the paddle for. So I knew that this. Let me tell you, this is not a beginner's paddle. This isn't.
Can I just say, just on that point, that you're right, it is the player, not the paddle, but some paddles are more forgiving than other paddles.
That's true. That's true.
I find that this paddle isn't very forgiving, but give us the specs on it first and then give us your review on it.
Just to finish on that, you're right. It's just that sometimes if I'm playing badly, I'll play badly with every single paddle that night. That's all I'm saying. So yes, but you're right. Sometimes you can miss a shot that a different paddle can give you a winner. So not to bore you with the specs, but obviously you've mentioned the shape. The weight is standard around 8183. Swing weight is on the heavier side. Obviously that it is a power paddle. The price is around 250, which is, I would say, is standard. I mean, there's the
foam core, isn't it?
That's $250, not pounds. Yeah, it's a dense, solid foam core, deep pocket and explosive rebound. So
Not deep pockets.
Yeah, but small hands. It's got that diamond surface, which is not just to look at. It looks good, but it gives that top tier spin, and this is very highly rated for spin. And also it's very durable, and that can't be overlooked. You get that sort of low thud. It's not a hollow, and it does feel different to your typical thermoform paddles, more towards the sort of like the gearbox. You know what I'm talking about when I say that gearbox power paddle but like gearbox on steroids. Like, I've been using it, and people are commenting on my serves. And I know when I first used it, immediately I did actually like it. It was sort of going through the getting used to it that I was quite up and down with it. And that's when I realized it was, it's a top end paddle. So I put lead tape on it, and then I started hating it, and I didn't know why. And then I read some comments that people had said that it reacted differently with the lead tape, because people have told us you put lead tape on everything, and I know you do that. You get a paddle and you put lead tape on.
I'm taking the tape off right now.
Right. Okay. Well, I did that, and I've used it twice since then, and let me tell you, this is amazing. I feel like my game has elevated from it. I used it. I didn't take it away with me, because when I take a paddle away, I'm always scared. Like, what if I lose it in the suitcase? So I didn't take it away for that reason. I only played a couple of times away, as I'd said in the last episode, but I've been back. We've played. I'm going to use it again on Saturday on a real court. And the other night, I used it the whole night. It was just brilliant. And when I went away before holiday, I used it for the first time without the lead. And again, it just feels great, and it's giving me the power when I need it. And I'm changing my game. I feel like my game is becoming much steadier now. So now I'm not blaming the paddle now, because I'm using the paddle correctly. You saw me the other night. I don't think I hit very many power shots. So if you're using too much power, if you're not playing a steady game, then your paddle can do the wrong thing for you. So because I feel like I'm settling into a nice steady game now. I'm using the power when I need to. Don't get me wrong, I'm making errors as well. But I feel like because of that, I'm getting the best out of this paddle. And boy, do I love this paddle.
Okay, well, that's interesting. I'll give you my take on it, because it's slightly different.
Okay.
First of all, I used it a while ago, and I found it really good. I played brilliantly. I found the paddle really good. I just found that certain shots, it's quite dead round the sort of the top of the paddle here. So if you caught it at the top, the ball would die and your shot would be over. The hybrid shape for me doesn't work. I don't mind it. It's not my personal favorite shape. As I say, if they did it in an elongated shape, I think it would be a winner for me. I'd also say it's not for a beginner, because
no, and that's the key. When you let me stop you there.
Yeah,
just to say, when you say about dead spots or where you hit it, that's the definition of an advanced paddle. You've got to. Yes, I know we all want an advanced paddle that has a bigger sweet spot, but you do need to be better at hitting it on the sweet spot. Yes, it might have it's definitely less forgiving. You're right there.
Yeah.
Carry on.
So no, I mean, overall, the control is good once you figure out the paddle. Obviously, it's got that pop and that power. I think that my drives were good with it. My resets were good with it. The spin on it was pretty good. I think it's an overall really good paddle. But as I say, it's just the shape that I'm not keen on. For other people, they will absolutely love it. But for the beginner out there, it's not as forgiving. So if you are starting pickleball, or you're at that beginner stage and you want a more forgiving paddle, then it's not for you. If you're intermediate to advanced, then yeah, have a look at it, try and test it, because it is a great paddle. It has got everything, but it's just not 100% for me. Now I have the Ruby Pro as well, which is another
we're going to be testing that next.
So we'll test that as well. But it's another hybrid shape. So yeah, and I'll have to wait and see what we get from the pickleball people as well.
Okay, well,
that might be interesting.
Okay, just to sum up then on this paddle, I would say for me, we've used a lot of those new power gearbox. You've used the boomstick. For me, those paddles were not for me. But for me, this is like a usable version of those power paddles and the boomstick, which was just like even you said, it was, it just wasn't great. I think that to control, and this is that perfect power paddle for me.
I think the boomstick is more forgiving than this one. I think it's harder to control than this one, but it's more forgiving, if that makes sense.
Yeah. But I also think if you gave the paddle the time that I've given this paddle, I do feel you'd feel different. But
the issue we have, and it's, it's a great position to be in. We don't have the time to give the paddles probably the respect they deserve and play with them constantly for 2 weeks. Like if we were in America and we're playing every day, we can use a paddle every day for 2 weeks. But because we play twice a week, we've got different paddles to try. I can only give an early assessment on the paddles. So it is difficult for us here. But I will give my honest evaluation on the paddles.
And I'm sure, 6-0 appreciate that. And I think also that's why it's taken a couple of months for us to do a proper review of this, because I don't want to just do reviews for the sake of it. I want to give our listeners, viewers, a proper informed opinion, and not just do a couple of sessions and say, that's how I feel about it. I don't think that's fair. So if you're looking for a next level, listen, if you're near Manchester and you want to try this, I'd be happy to let you have a go of it. But I'm going to continue using this. I'm going to use it in Blackburn. We're going to move to Blackburn probably, because it'll be, our new home after Saturday. But we'll report back on that. Maybe we'll do some videos from there as well.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. That's the Black Diamond. Sorry, not the Black Diamond, the Black Opal. But just before we go, I just want to throw something in there, because obviously we've said this is a more advanced paddle, but one question that we get asked a lot is, and thanks everybody for, constantly sending the questions in and everything and the feedback. It's great. People say, like, what, I need to buy my first paddle, or I've been using a friend's and now it's time for me,
Let me stop you there. Someone asked, I got a message today from a guy who has just started playing pickleball, and he messaged me to say, like, what paddle should I get? And I said, my reply was, it's a minefield out there. And he was going to go to like Decathlon. He went somewhere else. They didn't have any. And I said, look, you want an entry-level paddle. Carbon fiber is a good start. 16 millimeter is probably best. And an all-court paddle, because it is a minefield. I mean, there's so many paddles out there. For me to go and tell him what to get would be ridiculous. But I can only guide him in what sort of thing he needs to look for a beginner's paddle. And we get too caught up in paddles as well and technology. I've seen people playing with the first gen paddle and playing brilliantly with it. I think you mentioned a guy on holiday that was playing with a paddle that,
Kevin.
That was battered and chipped and battered. And he was, and he was playing. I've seen Ben Johns play with a frying pan,
I know.
So it is a minefield out there.
Well, I did say it's time to get a new paddle, and his response was, well, I don't have a podcast where they give you free paddles. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But basically also, look for a wide-bodied one as well. We know they're more forgiving. So you want, a 16 millimeter thickness, go for a wide body or a hybrid shape. Around 8 ounces is good. And one thing that I would recommend you don't do, which is exactly what we did, particularly you, when I say we, I mean you, is when you first start pickleball and you see Ben Johns using that paddle, you go out and you buy that paddle.
Well, there you go.
But you aspire to get to that. If you start using pro level paddles, it can work sometimes, but But if you you want to go for a beginner paddle as a beginner.
Yeah, I agree. Thanks for listening, everybody.
And thanks for having me, Robert.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Let me just stop you there.
You're stopping everyone now.
I'm stopping everyone. Thanks for listening, everybody. And let us know your thoughts on DUPR and what you think about the reset. And if you've tried this paddle, let us know what your thoughts on this paddle are as well.
And also, I think we could probably get you a discount as well. So if you want one of these paddles, let us know, and we could get a discount for you. So
thanks for listening.
Thanks. Take care.